Hello and welcome, my name is Nate from Video Games Recon, and as per usual we're going to be recapping this week's popular culture and gaming news that I find interesting and think you will too. Please keep in mind this video was recorded either early Friday morning or evening on UK time, so some important news could be missing and that this video will be posting either on Fridays or more likely Saturdays, but this will be dependent on how quickly I can put this video together without busting my balls. Anywho, enough jibber jabber, let's do it to it. So, let's start with the release dates and news for patches, DLC, betas and full titles that have caught my eye, be they imminent or otherwise. The re-release of Final Fantasy IX has finally made its way to PC. Although this game has already been out on mobile for a while, I'm personally quite stoked that it's going to be on a less casual platform, as although I was tempted to get it on mobile, it just didn't strike me as the sort of game I can play on the go. And of all the Final Fantasy games, I feel this is the one I gave the least of a chance to at the time, so I'm super interested to go back and see what I missed. Unfortunately, there's no news as to whether it's coming to PS4 or Xbox, but I'd be surprised if you didn't see it sometime this year on console. Although registration has already ended an hour after it started, a closed beta for Mirror's Edge Catalyst starts on April 22nd through till the 26th. So, although most of us won't get to play it till an open beta or release, I'd expect to see a lot more videos on YouTube in the coming days, presuming there's no embargo, that is. MOBA-inspired shooters Battleborn and Overwatch both have betas going on over this weekend. Personally, I'm not particularly hyped for either, as I'm probably going to be playing the Doom beta over the weekend. However, I think there is a place for this kind of game out there in the wild, particularly on console, but whether there's going to be space for both of these games being launched around the same time, who knows. Gears of War 4 also gets a new trailer that looks pretty damn cool, a beta and a release date on April 18th and October 11th respectively, and obviously exclusive to Xbox, so lots for Gears fans to sink their teeth into there. Still sort of in release date news, although it's unconfirmed at the moment, there may have been a release date leak for the Witcher 3 expansion Blood and Wine on June the 7th, as there appears to be a picture of a physical release copy posted on NeoGAF from a store that is accepting pre-orders. On to other news. Let's start off with some movie tidbits. The Marvel superhero film Doctor Strange got a new trailer, as did the upcoming film set in the Harry Potter universe, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. First up, although I'm pretty much at saturation point when it comes to comic book films, I appreciate that they're trying to do something different with this film as opposed to a typical superhero that just goes around punching things until the inevitable bad guy reveals himself so as the superhero can then start punching him instead. At least this one appears to be messing around with reality and time and could be a slightly more cerebral superhero film. And whether the new Harry Potter film can live on its own 2 feet without featuring Hogwarts is up in the air, as in my opinion the previous films that were a bit light on Hogwarts struggled a little. I think the cool 1920s setting will help with that to a degree, but this one for me feels like a bit of a wait and see. And as aside from a new story, we'll have to see if the universe alone is cool enough to keep these spin-offs going. Scarlett Johansson is revealed as the lead role in a new teaser picture for the upcoming film based on the anime of the same name, Ghost in the Shell. I'd like to think this is going to be good, but I kind of cringed hearing about this news, as Hollywood has a terrible track record when it comes to reimagining animes and games, etc, etc. Sometimes I wish they'd just leave things alone, as there's so much room for error. Ghostbusters, anyone? But who knows, maybe it'll be good. Here's hoping. The rights for a live-action Pokemon film are available and have apparently started a bidding war. Again, whether this is something best left alone or not, I don't know, but it does sound hella cool, so it will be interesting to see how this all pans out. Okay, back to the gaming stuff. Titanfall 2 gets a teaser trailer and hints that there will be sword combat in the upcoming game. Speaking of swords, let's talk about Destiny, and then The Division, as they both got updates the week just gone. Aside from a bunch of new swords, Destiny also gets a return from Prison of Elders in a new challenge, a new light level cap, and probably a bunch of other stuff I've missed. As it all means very little to me, as I'm so far removed from the game, not playing it since year 1, that I really don't know what I'm talking about with it anymore. However, onto something I'm a little bit more familiar with, and has obvious parallels. The Division also got a free update, as well as some teething problems. So there is a new gear type called gear sets available, gear score similar to Destiny's light level, supply drops in the dark zone, loot swapping, assignments and more. There's also the raid-like content incursions called Raidless? Falcon Fail Horde Room? No, that can't be right. All joking aside, let's get into the problems. The supply drops only drop purples as far as I can tell, so are pointless and are in no way going to encourage players to go rogue like it was intended to. And the incursion, Falcon Lost, is a bit of a joke and doesn't even slightly compare to a raid. It's basically a glorified horde room and the boss is an armoured personnel carrier, which is cool, except the damn thing doesn't even move. You'd have thought one of the few things they should have learnt from Destiny is to put raid-like content in and have a dedicated PvP area, as they're the only things that have kept that game relevant through its dry spells. Okay, rant over. A few more amusing issues, well, perhaps not amusing for everyone. The 1.1 update had some players' characters completely disappear. Quite a big bug, that one. Fortunately, I think it's been fixed. Also, there is an exploit on the Incursion Falcon Lost, where players can use the deployable cover and ballistic shield to clip through the wall prior to the mission fully starting, and when you do, none of the AI will acknowledge your existence, so as you can use your sticky bomb skill to kill the APC without being bothered. Keep in mind this will be patched soon, so if interested, get it while it's going. A former Rockstar executive that worked on GTA 5 is suing the publisher Take-Two Interactive for $150 million in royalties that he is said to have been owed. This appears to be a his word against mine sort of scenario, as Leslie Benzies is saying he was pushed out of Rockstar and thus had lost royalties he was owed, whereas Rockstar is saying that he became disruptive and made him working there impossible and was never owed such royalties. This is going to be one of those stories that just drags on and we won't get all the juicy details until 5 or 10 years down the road. Kinda like the Kojima vs Konami story. Well, except that we don't know who's to blame on this one, because, you know, fuck Konami and all that jazz. This is a pretty cool story. A new, unknown and incomplete Neo Geo fighting game was discovered on an old second-hand test board, and after a little kajiggering, Neo Geo forum user Neo Turfmaster managed to get it running using MAME. In other cool news, another clever sod managed to make his own Flappy Bird clone on, of all things, an e-cigarette. This one has to be seen to be believed. And the cool news just keeps getting cooler. There is an interstellar project called Starshot being worked on and backed by world-renowned scientists and a Russian billionaire that aims to send a bunch of incredibly small nanocraft to a nearby star system, Alpha Centauri, so as to record a bunch of data about said star system. It would take conventional spacecraft 30,000 years to get there, whereas these incredibly small drones would travel at 20% the speed of light, thanks to its solar sails that are intended to have lasers pointed at them from Earth as a means of propulsion. It's hoped that $100 million set aside to develop this craft and work through any problems will make it so that within our lifetime we get to see the data and hopefully pictures from another star system sent back via these drones. And finally, more Xbox 1.5 rumours. Although Phil Spencer, head of the Xbox division, already came out and said he wasn't interested in making an Xbox 1.5, as they don't wish to make small incremental steps in hardware, they'd rather make big steps, i.e. a new generation of hardware. However, some FCC filings have been leaked pointing towards the existence of two new pieces of Xbox hardware. One appearing to be a slimmed down iteration of the current console, and one that may have different hardware inside, i.e. an Xbox 1.5. Whether these are prototypes that won't end up coming to light, we won't know until June 25th and July 29th when the FCC confidentiality expires. But all this just adds fuel back on the Xbox 1.5 fire. It could be that Phil was just trying to double bluff Sony, or like I said, it could mean nothing. But I'd be surprised if we don't know one way or the other come E3 2016. So, that was my recap of the week's gaming news or points of interest. I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff I'll miss each week, so feel free to post anything you're into that I missed in the comments for discussion. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you and goodbye.